Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's lovely to see you. One of the trickiest parts of this time we're living through is people not seeing loved ones, but you're very lucky you're actually quarantining with your grandmother.
Yes, my grandmother was quarantining by herself. She started in February. She was ahead of the whole government, recommendation, and she got really lonely. So, starting beginning of April, she drove to my house, and we have been quarantining ever since. We're exercising and cooking, and she's a good hangout buddy.
That's pretty great because not a lot of people, in adulthood get to spend that much quality time with a grandparent. So, in a way, you guys have found a pretty nice silver lining.
Yeah, I mean, she's a pretty cool grandparent. Her Instagram handle is like motorcycle grandma. So, she's not your typical grandma.
Yeah, that's definitely, I'm pretty sure that handle was available when she went looking for it.
She didn't have to fight for that one. It's not motorcycle grandma one or
right. So congratulations on this movie. This is a female-led, female-produced spy thriller called The 355, and the name has significance, right?
Yeah, I learned about the 355, the name, from actually the consultant that I had worked with on Zero Dark 30. And she told me that 355 was the code name for the first female spy during the American Revolution. And no one knows her real name to this day. But that was how she was acknowledged. She was this invisible person who really, helped us, helped our country. So women today in espionage in the United States use that moniker as a badge of honor, like 355. The women doing the work behind the scenes.
And this was your idea, right? To have a movie like this that had a bunch of, female action stars doing an espionage thriller, sort of based on the fact that you were seeing that it was happening on the other side.
Yeah, I'd seen so many movies with, ensembles with male actors that were great films and great actors. But I was wondering, why don't we have movies with women? I had known that in real life, women are at the forefront of espionage. And it kind of, in some sense, was a wish list of mine because I got to work with Penelope Cruz and Lupita Nyong'o and Diane Kruger and Fan Bingbing and these incredible actresses that, in the past, our industry hasn't been so great at allowing more than one woman on a set at the same time. They don't want us in the same room. So, I wanted to do it, and I guess I kind of made it happen.
You, I guess, presented the idea that a film like this would necessarily then need a Bond boy, the sort of alternative to the Bond girls that we've gotten used to over the last, 50 years. And was that, how were you greeted with the idea of the Bond boy?
Well, I had realized that men have been discriminated against for so long because they had only been known for their skills and their talent and their knowledge and the things that they say, and they were not acknowledged for their sexual desirability in the way that women have had. So I thought, you know what? It's about time we do men justice, and let's have some Bond boys. So I just said it as a tweet, as a joke, and the funny thing is I actually received requests and submissions from people to be Bond boys.
That says a lot because based on the history of Bond girls, you're really on the chopping block as far as your character's, ability to survive a whole film. But you've got some really nice hunks in this film. I tip my cap.
Yeah, I will say, and also too, it's time that the guys get to be eye candy too.
Yeah, why not? They're the ones that are floating in the middle of a pool and somebody goes, whoa.
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that not all of them have a successful journey in our film.
Hey, such is the life of a Bond boy. You know what? You get what you sign up for. We actually have a trailer. We didn't show a clip on the way in because we have something a little more substantial to show. So let's take a quick look.
The threat's not on the horizon. It's here, right now. We're the only ones that can prevent World War III. I'm putting together a team, and you're the best at what you do.
We all work for different intelligence agencies. American, British, Colombian, German, Chinese. But now, we need to join forces.
They have an army.
What do we have? And please don't say each other.
Never.
I'm scared.
Good. Only an idiot isn't scared.
We're the 355.
I like the new team.
We'll take it from here.
I'm very pro anything that has the line joining forces. I like that a great deal.
A lot of great movies have had that line: rival agents joining forces.
Right. And you're watching the trailer saying, I hope they can make it work. You had to return to production. Was it in London? Is that where you went back to finish up filming?
Yeah, that's where we, that was our base for when we shot the film. And then we did some additional scenes right in the middle of this whole 2020 situation we're in. So in July, we went, and it was quite an ordeal, you know, testing all the time. We didn't have any cases, thank goodness. We were very, very careful and very safe. And so I guess it proved that it can be done.
One of the steps you had to take personally was the self-test. I have also, you know, we have protocols in place here, and it's a mix of being tested and then also the self-swabbing. How do you feel like you did as a self-swabber?
Well, in the beginning, I was terrible because, you know, you think that you see all the hear the horror stories about it has to go all the way up your nose. And I was like, this is just not going to work. And I was always crying. And then I just got used to it. And the instructions say, just, you know, you stop when you feel a gentle resistance. So once I realized that, I was like, this is super easy. And I still do it actually because quarantining with my grandmother, I want to make sure that there's a safe environment that we're in. I want to be responsible to the people around me. So I test myself regularly.
You know, a couple times a week, I'm doing the self-swab as well. And I can't believe I've reached this point. And it's really depressing to be in a place where I'm like, really? I think I'm really good at this now. I think I'm really good.
I'm so good at putting things up my nose.
It's also really fun to think of someone who was in that trailer being like, oh, I don't want to put anything up my nose.
We actually did I will say, I'm sure you're really good at it, but I did, you know, hear that there were a lot of big babies on our set, and some of the biggest babies have the biggest muscles. I'm just gonna say.
Then I meant to say I was a baby about it. So great to see you. As always, Jessica, I really look forward to the film, and hopefully next time we can see you in person.
I know. I look forward to being in a room together, and let's finish off this year in a great place. Nowhere to go but up, right?
That sounds like a very accurate framing of the situation we're in.
Yes.